He said, when you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful.
Was ever a dream? Darn them.
Hi, I'm Ubong Matthew, founder of An Hour with a Manager. This platform was created to solve a real challenge we saw across African professional spaces, which is the gap between ambition and structured leadership. Because a better manager will build a better Africa, and the world needs both.
The estimated global market of the creative industry is around $3 trillion, with Africa holding around 1.5% of that. Is this good news or bad news? This means there's an untapped market that needs significant and urgent investment. In this episode of An Hour with a Manager, we're spotlighting one of Africa's Nigerian entrepreneur in the female industry, who is in the female creative industry, who's actually making significant waves and striving to make better textile. And in this episode, we promise you one thing, that we're going to share practical insights, case studies and tools that will help managers reshape the way they think about leadership, operational strategy, and global expansion. And I'm joined here by my guest, Oluwakemi. Thank you very much for joining us today, and how are you doing?
Welcome. I'm very well, thank you.
All right, so for the benefit of those who are meeting you for the first time, please can you introduce yourself and let them get to know about your background and how far you've gone on your journey?
Okay. Hi, my name is Oluwakemi Raliat Ilimi, Creative Director of Rolly Couture. Rolly Couture is a Lagos-based fashion brand where we offer timeless premium services exclusively for women.
So, having been started or Rolly Couture, which is very new to the ear, right? How has the journey been from when you started the brand, and what has the inspiration been like for you to even get to where you are today?
Okay, what made me go into getting to create Rolly Couture brand is based on the love I have for fashion, for creativity, for art and all. So I do love fashion. That's why I went into the business.
All right. And has your love for fashion gone more, or is it still less than how it started, or you
No,
still
it has
struggle?
grown more within
Okay.
time.
Okay.
So it has grown more within time. When I see fashion, I am drawn to it. Like
Okay.
it is what I love.
Oh.
So that's
All right. So, personally, Lagos itself is like a very big market hub, which I know you're familiar with. And Nigeria itself is a very rich and big country that a lot of Africans are also looking forward to come to. So what's really, what's that unique brand that says, okay, if I'm coming to Oluwakemi or if I'm coming to Rolly Couture, I'm definitely going to get something unique, something different, something significant that's, tells the brand that this is what stands out for the brand. What's that thing that really makes these exclusive women feel exclusive?
okay. So Rolly Couture is not just all about fashion. It's about confidence. It's about ease. So if you're coming to Rolly Couture to get a dress, it's something that we would work on. Talk about your confidence, how
Okay.
you want to look, how you want people to see you, how you want to project yourself out there. So we sit and we discuss about it. We try to bring our own idea, get your own idea, and just put things together and make it work.
So have you mixed any maybe African style, or is it only the modern style, or are there other things
We have
which?
mixed African styles. We do with our native
Okay.
textile, like
Okay.
Ashoke.
Okay.
So we do with, we just work with our own fabric here.
Okay.
So it's not that we import or do the modern thing alone.
Yeah.
We contribute everything together to make it one.
And how is it going for you with having to use the Nigerian fabric or the local fabrics?
It has been amazing. The Nigerian fabric is 100% good for
Okay.
our kind of business. So when we're getting the fabric, is something that we need to check on to see what suits the occasion our
Yeah.
clients are going for.
Okay.
So the textile that we get here is actually quality.
There's a lot going on with innovation and technology, and this might seem a little bit, fast forwarding, but how is innovation really helping the business itself, other than social media where everybody's actually going to? But how do you see this helping to transform Rolly Couture from where it is or where it was to the next level?
Okay, the innovation is about bringing ideas to reality.
Yeah.
For me,
Okay.
I think about the ideas that I have for my business and I bring it into reality. It just not just stick in my head. You
Okay.
understand? So it's what I think about, what I try to reminisce about for me to bring it into reality. So the innovation is to make female clothing look very nice and proper, making them look comfortable in what they're
Is it like
wearing.
what you're wearing right
Like what
now?
I'm wearing, I'm very much comfortable.
Okay.
So,
I think I
so
should get this.
yeah, yeah, you should.
Okay.
Yeah, you should. So, I it's all about confidence and all about you showcasing yourself, being who you are.
Okay.
So I feel the innovation is just about making women look good and okay for their occasions.
Yeah, sometimes it might sound this way, and it looks like running a business itself is very easy or it's simple. But once you get into it, there are different challenges. But so far, with having to go through your journey, what are some of these challenges you faced that have made you stay resilient from whenever it started or however it was down to where you are currently?
Um, the challenges, firstly, I'll say inflation of price at the market space. So there are sometimes you charge your clients, and when you get to the market space, you see what you're getting before is not what you're getting now.
Okay.
So that's number one. Number two is how we deal with our clients. Clients are not easy. Some clients are not easy on us. Let me
Okay.
just say that.
How do you mean?
What I mean is that when they tell you they want something, at the end of the day, is what they ordered that you give them.
Yeah.
But when they say that, oh, this is not actually right for them, they
Okay.
intend to put all the old blame on
On.
we, the designers, which
Oh.
is not fair. So I feel that is the one of the challenges we actually come across, but we try to correct and to make it work because we
How?
don't want to like portray ourselves in a way that they will say, oh, this brand is not what we want. This
Yeah.
person is like this, is like that.
Yeah.
So we try to give our best in everything we do, and we try to make you comfortable. That's what we do.
And how has that been trying to convince, let me use that word, the clients, because you can't, it's like customers. You
Yeah.
can't really satisfy every customer. So how has it been trying to, be that number one brand that irrespective of what I ordered for versus what I'm receiving, they can still come back and even acknowledge and say, oh, we had a fault from our own side, but because it's from you, we still needed to do this or do that for us.
So we intend to like please the client and give them what they want. We intend to like, okay, probably if we make a dress, you're not comfortable with it, we can recreate. We can come to a particular point
Okay.
and just recreate something that you will love. We don't just ignore. We don't ignore our clients. So we can come in between and say, okay, this is what I want, and we agree to it. So that alone makes them okay. She's subtle. She's this. Then we can still come back, but I try to give them premium service in as much as there are some little mistakes because we're not all perfect. In as much as we can make mistake,
Yeah.
but we intend to listen. We listen to our clients.
Yeah.
We take corrections. So that has been the goal.
All right. So away from how the clients works, because at the end of the day, when you build or grow the business, it still needs some very serious backing, or it needs very serious backing at the end of the day,
Yeah.
right? For you to really have this style or have this beauty or this frame, that's authority face which you really want to see, right? So how we're able to navigate one of the growing challenge, which is like, everybody in Africa or everybody in Lagos, in one way or the other, in as much as you run a business, it's globally actually, let me not say everybody in Africa or Lagos,
Yeah.
right? It's a global problem. But how have you been able to navigate the problem of financing from, when it started, the capital, how was it? Was it too hectic to even start with 5 billion, or was it too hectic to start with 100,000 to say, okay, let me just get one or two fabrics?
So actually, I started very small. So it was actually okay at that point. But when you're growing, you intend to like need more funds,
Yeah,
more backup to keep the business going.
yeah,
So at the long run, we try to manage it, and in the space of being the customers that we have right now,
So we are still able to push the business going. We can't say, oh, because in the market space or in the economy is hard and all that, then we stop the business. No, with the few clients that we have here in Nigeria and abroad, we are still keeping the business on. It has not been easy, but at least we still keep the business going.
Oh, so you also service the diaspora markets too.
Yes, we do
How
that.
is it being servicing the diaspora
I
market?
think that's the best of my business actually,
Okay.
because I have more of them
Okay.
than Nigerian clients.
Okay.
So most of them are not in Nigeria, they are abroad. And whenever I make the addresses, I get referrals, they are satisfied with what I make for them. So, and that has always kept me going. If I was getting like a feedback that is not okay, I won't be pushing. But my feedback are always very nice, and that keeps me going.
So right now it looks like you the brain box of Ruli Couture itself, and I know having to juggle all of this, even if you have teams with you, but having to juggle all of this comes with its own challenges and stress and all of that. But can you share one of these significant moments when you felt like, okay, I don't think I'm going to move forward with this business anymore. Maybe I should just give it a break and let's maybe try something else and then maybe come back to Really Couture. Maybe it's not for me. One of those times where you feel like, oh no, I'm not moving in the right direction. Let me try to find something. Let me try to find another backing for myself.
Okay, so I would say that it has not been an easy journey. Having my workers around, then having to control like this business of
Yeah.
mine. So it has not been an easy journey, but I intend to like just take one step at a time. I intend to take one step at a time and talk to my workers, tell them what I want,
Okay.
how my client wants what they want. You
Okay.
understand? Because they are not the one talking to the client. I am the one in front,
Yeah.
and they are behind me.
Yeah.
So if they are not doing well, I'm also not doing well. So
Okay.
I intend to like advise them based on what we have. Let's do this, let's do that. Although it has not been easy controlling workers and all, but I feel like I'm just blessed with the ones that I have. That's why my business has been running. So that's what I can say.
All right, so I want to shift you a little bit away from Ruli Couture,
Okay.
right? I want us to go into the African market itself because at the end of the day, the synergy where you bring between other businesses or other individuals with yourself is what will actually take you from where you are to the next level,
Okay.
right? How you interact both with your clients is how you're going to move from the level where you are to the next level. So for the young entrepreneurs who are out there, how or what are some of these plans that you think, okay, maybe in the next 5 to 10 years, we should be looking at Really Couture doing this, maybe offering trainings, offering maybe referrals or management practices in terms of textile, in terms of fashion, or any aspect of the business which you're looking at?
Okay, I will say that in the nearest future, I want to have my own fashion academy whereby I impact knowledge into the younger ones. So I would even say I want to have my own fashion brand,
Okay.
then impact knowledge, and also have my own textile company whereby I import fabrics that are suitable for occasions, like maybe a wedding outfit and all that. So I would like to invest in that. Then also, I would like to bring in like men clothing too. I would like to go into that.
Maybe I'll change this too.
I'll, yes. So I would like to go into like men clothing and just keep the business going. That's
All right. So, you know, even with the challenges we face, there's always a good time.
yeah.
There's always a time when you feel like, oh, we shouldn't, this moment shouldn't pass by, right? And once it passed by, that, okay, it's a new phase, right? So what are some of these very aha or success moments you've had that you think you'd like to share? One of those moments running the business or starting the business or being in the business that you think it's always a moment you think you'd like to share with other entrepreneurs who are going into this space.
Okay. So the beautiful moment about running a fashion brand is seeing that you're progressing in everything that you do, like getting more orders something that you're not expecting in bulk. Like I can still remember last year, I got like a very huge order
Okay.
from a client in the US that is into a ready-to-wear brand, and
Okay.
it was a lot. I enjoyed myself because I enjoyed working with her. You understand?
Okay.
So that has been like a great moment for me. So I won't want to. I would love
Connects like
more of
that.
that. You understand? So that has been like a great journey for me. Seeing the fact that I'm progressing and I'm putting everything together to be one is a good thing for me.
So, you know, as a business owner, which not everybody's is opportune to, right? I know there are specific ways where people tell you, oh, think like this, don't think like that, or do like this, don't do like that. What are some of these mindsets, right, that you put up, which helps you run and work with your employees for you to be very, very effective and proactive in what you're doing?
Okay, like I said, I'm open to any idea, but it's not every idea they give you like initiating your business.
Yeah.
Like I feel I have my own idea. I can gather idea from my workers,
Yeah.
from a client, from anybody, but I'll put it together to see if it will work
Okay.
on what I want for my brand. So the ideas I have is they are basically how to progress, how to make the business run, how to collaborate with other workers, like other business, like
Yeah.
maybe a makeup artist, or you just collaborate with different brand to make it work, because you can't do it all alone.
Yeah.
You have to get a model, you have to get a stylist, you have to get someone that can draw the design out for you. So basically, I collaborate with people to just make a progress out of it. So that's what I do.
And how is the collaboration working?
The collaboration is okay. It helps your business grow. You don't have to wait until you have this big project for yourself alone, or maybe they call you for a bride.
Yeah.
You want to style a bride. You don't have to wait for that, because you don't get to see that often.
Okay.
Is once in a while. You understand? Because you're just based on we make bespoke outfits, like for brides, for ashwebi, for birthdays
I
and
think we
all
can
that.
see one here,
Yeah, we
and
actually made
that's
this.
behind us.
So getting to grow out of the space that you have now, you need to like collaborate with people with different brands so that you can move forward. You don't have to wait for you being okay, this is what I want to do today, because
Yeah.
you can't actually do it alone.
Yeah.
If you have your personal business, they call you for a personal job, you can actually do it. But at the moment where you don't have, at that point, you can actually collaborate. You just keep your social media out there going, that this is what we make, this is what we do.
But now, I want us to still stress a little bit in terms of the collaboration, right? Because
Okay.
people might find it difficult to putting people together. Just like you mentioned, you can bring a makeup artist, you can bring a stylist, or you can bring a model to
Yeah.
put these things together. How do you get to bring these people together for you to be able to achieve the goal that you really want to achieve?
Okay, it's an offer, and you gather your clients, what's it called, your different brands together, what you want to, the look you want. So when you bring them together, what you ask them is that, are you interested in collaborating with me? It doesn't cost much. What would be the cost is probably you want to use a location, or the model that is coming to do the whole
Okay.
appearance is collecting money. Do you understand? So the collaboration space is not something that will cost you a lot,
Okay.
because I've done a project before and I did it alone. I did. So in the space of you collaborating with people, you can come together and share the bill.
Yeah.
Is not just on based on one person, because you're also going to get the result that you want for your brand too.
Okay.
So we are all coming together to create one masterpiece. So you're getting what you want, I'm getting what I want.
So it's like a combination of different business
Different,
people
yes, coming together.
to share ideas.
Yeah, to share ideas.
All right. And for the long term of the brand, I know you mentioned talking about having like a big fashion house,
Yes.
and starting up more and making more importations and the rest, right? But now for sustainability process or purposes, right? How do you intend to sustain the business till it gets to that point and continue to move forward?
I'll say we just have to move on. Like we just have to keep the ideas we have and keep growing. We don't have to be in a particular spot. So I would just say, just be you, do your thing, and you don't know what can happen in the next one. You eat on that project and boom, you're there. So just continuity is what would take you there. You don't need to be on one spot and say, oh, this is going to happen to me. You have to work for it. You have to keep going. You have to keep working till you get there.
All right. So, well, with the rise of AI, with the rise of technology, beginning to, I have to smile at this because sometimes I'm here wondering maybe if AI is going to take away the machine from you, or you are the one who's going to take away the machine from the AI itself. But which of these trends are you looking at that you think is going to be very, very useful for the textile industry itself, and particularly for your work to be more efficient and more effective?
I feel the idea of AI is okay, and it's actually an inspiration of where you can source styles and all. So if I get an inspiration from AI, is what I can produce out. I'll produce it out, and people will see what I made. So people will not go to AI to go and get some stuff. You have to get your style
Yeah,
inspiration from AI,
yeah.
then you recreate.
Okay.
So people around you, you can showcase that on. And I feel AI is not something that you actually see.
Yeah.
Like it brings out new inspirations for you. So it's something that is okay for the brand.
And what about the aspect of having automated machines? Where they get to just fix and sew everything without you having to do anything. Are you looking into having those kind of things?
Hey, that one is far. Like, no, I don't want that. I don't
Why?
want that. No,
But
I don't think there can be that kind of sewing
but the
machine.
future is already here. What do you think you're going to do about that?
I
Where
don't think.
it's like it's more or less like you having to like when you put batch in
Yeah.
clothes. There's some machines where you input all those things and
Yes,
then
and
they'll
they will
do this
just
job
place
for
it.
you. Yeah.
Yes,
So don't you think that will also make your job effective if you had a
and
machine
easier.
that you put every type of, maybe for this full dress, for this full gown, it can actually put those
Things
work for you.
together.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll say that's an easy job. That's easy. If I get the same machine, I don't mind. That
Okay.
will ease my work.
Yeah.
That will ease the stress, and that will still bring out what we actually want. So it's fine.
The goal is the result,
Yeah, the
actually.
goal is the result.
All right. So I just want to quickly get on board because we're going to be wrapping this up real quick. At least the insights you've shared so far has been very, very helpful, right? But now to entrepreneurs who are looking to get into the textile industry, what is your word for them? You've mentioned a couple, but we'd like you to be very direct in terms of, and please, maybe just look at the camera when you're saying that. So what are some of these, takes entrepreneurs who are looking to go into the fashion industry you think they should have in mind?
Okay. I would say I will start by saying a step at a time is fine. You don't need to have everything to be out there. Like, just keep working on your skills. Don't relent, and keep going. Like, I would just say consistency is the deal. Like, just be consistent in whatever you are doing. You'll get to the goal. That's all.
All right. And one last question, which cuts across everywhere, and I know personally you might also find this as something that maybe comes to mind sometimes, but you never can imagine it. But I want us to talk about work-life balance, right? I know you're familiar with that term, work-life balance, right? So how have you been able to balance both your work and your actual life itself, and how do you play around with this?
Okay, I would say I've
Or
been able.
do you even believe in work-life balance to start with?
Yes, because I can't do it alone. That's the thing. The fact that I have some workers, yeah, that are doing some stuff for me, that has created like another space in where I can focus on another thing.
Okay.
I'm not the one out there talking to my
Every
clients,
time.
and I'm not the one in store making the dresses. I have workers that are doing it for me. So, and again, I'll be in my house doing other stuff. So I've been able to balance everything by getting more workers to work for me. I feel like that is what I can actually do to balance everything.
Oh, thank you for sharing that insight. And I think this is something where other entrepreneurs and other creatives should also buy into. And I thank you, Oluwakemi, for the information you're sharing with us today, which is very, very valuable to our listeners who are tuning into the show. But I want us to quickly go into talk about a book recommendation for us to take on today from Dana Thomas. It's called Fashion Police, right? The price of fast fashion and the future of clothes. So you can as well go check that out just to learn more about what is going on in the industry and how you can navigate the space. And we also have 4 practical steps which we're also going to leave you with, because even when you're also into the creative industry, that doesn't mean you shouldn't take steps to lead the industry itself. And one of those is being able to identify any key challenge. You've heard our guest mention that identify the key challenges you might have and then put them down, always journal them, and then build or join a peer network. Collaborate with people. You've heard from the guests, collaborate with people, collaborate with other entrepreneurs, collaborate with other brands. Might not really be directly from yours, but just collaborate and you can always get the best result. And the third thing there is conduct a simple audit of your current materials and processes. How are you running your operations? What do you do day to day? Who are working for you? What exactly is their tax, and how do you think you can simplify that for efficiency and effectiveness? And the last thing there is commit to a weekly habit that is transparent with communication within the team. So you can always communicate with the team, tell them what is the most important thing that needs to happen. So it's not like you're running a business just for yourself. When you're working with people, you need expansion. You need to tell them, okay, let's try this style. Let's not try this style. You bring in ideas from their own perspective, and then we come together on an agreement. But in all 4 steps wraps up the conversation of what we've been discussing with regards to improving the creative industry in Africa by sharing insights from other SMEs in Lagos in particular. And we believe that this conversation has been very, very valuable enough, and we'll continue to share more. And before we wrap up, just want to say thank you, Oluwakemi, for the time, for the insights you've shared, and in regards to sharing these information on how to transform Africa's creative industry. And today's conversation with our guests has been very practical and with insights to help you navigate this space. So if you found this episode interesting, if you found this episode worthy, please do well to follow, like, share, and subscribe to our platform, subscribe to our podcast platform across every channel. But I'll leave you with a quote today from Dana Thomas. It says, "We've stuck to our standards, even when it wasn't the easiest things to do, and we've made it." So he says, we've stuck to our standards, even when it was the hardest thing to do, and we've made it. Until next time, keep bridging, keep leading, and keep growing Africa one world at a time. Thank you.
Going back in the back, jumping on the stage. You know what I was just a gamble.